Well, I'm finally doing it. Finally doing it. I'm starting an NBA channel. I've been telling myself for 6 months that I want to start an NBA channel, and I'm finally doing it. Because every game I watch, I'm a diehard Heat fan, right? I'm a diehard Heat fan. I'll go into a whole video of how I became a Heat fan. I gradually became a Heat fan going back to the bubble season after like a 15-year NBA hiatus. I'll go into all that stuff. After that Bucks series, man, seeing what these guys did, like proving all these experts wrong, proving the NBA media wrong, seeing what Jimmy Butler did, and all these guys, man, like I love this team so much, man. And I'm like, I gotta make a channel. I gotta make a channel. And it's probably gonna be a mess at first. I have no idea what I'm doing. So, this is why I have 0 subscribers, and hopefully it stays that way for a while until I learn what I'm doing. So let's just get right into it. Let's talk Knicks Heat, man. Knicks Heat. Game 1. Stephen A. Smith is real sad.
I know you didn't have Julius Randle, but Gabe Vincent looking like Steph Curry hitting 5 threes, Lowry hitting threes, Love hitting threes, Strus hitting threes. It's a problem. I can't believe how good Miami is shooting the basketball. The Knicks are going to have to figure it out. They're clearly going to need Julius Randle to win.
All those New York celebrities are real sad. All those cocky Knicks fans are real sad. Bing bong, bing bong.
The New York Knicks run New York City! Bing bong!
Bing bong, New York, blah blah. Look, I'm from Jersey, man. I grew up a 90s Knicks fan. Like, I know how Knicks fans get. These guys are like real cocky. Real cocky. And the NBA media, who I loathe, who always ignore the Heat, which is a big reason why I became a Heat fan, because I noticed that for some strange reason, despite the Heat being really good, they're always pretty good, but like, especially since 2020, what was it, 2020, they'd make it to the finals. 2021, they had injury problems, got knocked out by the team first round that won the finals. 22, one shot away from making it to the finals again. And 23, we upset the best team in the league that the majority of people thought was going to win the championship, 4-1. Let's go. All right, right into it. No Julius Randle. Interesting narrative here that the Knicks fans are a little bit hypocritical about, because I was hearing from a lot of people, a lot of my boys back in Jersey. I live in LA, but a lot of my people back in Jersey were like, man, we don't need Julius Randle. Which narrative is it? Is it, did you beat the Cavs because you didn't have Julius Randle and you're better without Julius Randle? Or did you lose to the Heat because you didn't have Julius Randle and you need Julius Randle? Like, which one is it? So that was kind of weird. This is how old school I am, by the way. I don't even have a laptop, so I'm like writing chicken scratch notes in a notebook. That's how old school I am. All right, what do I have written down here? Pat Riley in the house. We had Pat Riley and Alonzo Mourning in the house, looking like straight up mafia dons, bro. Every time like the camera cuts to Pat and Zoe, I'm just like, cue up the Godfather music, man. They always look so fly in their suits, man. I love those guys. And by the way, doesn't Pat Riley look like a genius now? Wasn't it in the not too distant past, like, oh, I don't know, 2 weeks ago, and the whole season where everyone was like, oh, Pat Riley's asleep. Pat Riley's asleep. Pat Riley looks like Einstein, Michelangelo, and Elon Musk and Steve Jobs all combined into one basketball genius right now, doesn't he? I'm also going to try to do this channel with no profanity, but we'll see if that works. Oh, let me just cut right to this. The NBA media is so biased towards the Knicks and against the Heat. It's ridiculous. All right, so let's get to the game. So the first quarter was a little weird. You could tell that we weren't really settled in yet. We ended up losing the first quarter by 11 points. We only had 21 points. Gabe started out hot. Gabe was shooting well. I noticed here Obi Toppin. Every time Obi Toppin shot a three-pointer, I was like, let him shoot all day. Go ahead, Obi, knock yourself out. Shoot, baby. So there was one point where it cut back from commercial, and Spo was in those timeouts. They had those audio timeouts, And Spo said, why are we letting them attack every time? And I thought that was so true, man, because this Knicks team, like, they weren't shooting that well. 3 for 16 at the half. I think overall they were 7 for 34 from 3. That's 20.6%. It's terrible. So Spoelstra says, why are we letting them attack every time? And it's so true, man. Like, if you, like, with this team, with this Knicks team, I feel like as long as you clog the paint up, you keep them out of the paint, you cut off all their driving lanes, and you keep them on the outside. I know it's easier said than done, but like they really shouldn't be that much of a problem for us. But at the end of the first quarter, we were losing 22-4 in the paint. That's not good. And our shots weren't falling. We were 7 for 27. 25.9% from the field, 4 for 17 from 3, 23.5%. So like really not a great start, but I wasn't worried because I could tell just by watching them. I was like, they're not into it yet. Oh my God, what is that beeping? 7 minutes left in the second quarter, and we're still shooting less than 30% from 3. And I have something written down here interesting. I wrote down Jimmy being too passive, not good. And then right after I wrote that, they called a timeout. Jimmy gets 2 quick buckets right away. That was when things kind of a little bit started to change a little bit in our favor. I also wrote down Caleb Martin, insanely athletic. Caleb Martin, that guy does something like once a game, usually, twice a game, where I'm like, this dude is like crazy athletic. I feel like in this series, I'm gonna make a prediction here. We're gonna have a big game out of Max Strus. I'm not saying. I'm gonna say in the 20s. He's gonna have a 20-something point game eventually in this series. Gabe Vincent, man. So many people were doubting that guy, and this guy really has stepped up in a great way. And really, man, I love this balance that we found between Kyle and Gabe. It's like this kind of acid and base. I have here, Heat were 2 for 15 from 3 at one point. And we were only down 6 with 1 minute left. So this is an interesting little narrative going into halftime. So I'm going to say that again. We were 2 for 15 from 3. And only down 6 with a minute left. Okay? And we won the second quarter. We won the second quarter? Yeah, we won the second quarter by 6 points, right? The Knicks at halftime were 24 for 42, shooting 57.1%. We were only shooting 38%. They rebounded us by 3 rebounds. Here we go. They beat us 40-20 in the paint at halftime. And with all that being said, we're only down 5. Halftime comes, it cuts to this Stephen A. Smith character. This guy is gloating like they're up 25 points, that the Heat are a mess, that Jimmy Butler can't do anything, that this is the Mecca, that this ain't the Bucks. And I'm like, are these guys delusional? What is that? Is that a dirt bike? What the hell? All they do is talk about Knicks. It's this whole like pro Knick narrative. And I'm like, they didn't even play that. The Heat didn't even play that great of a half, and they're only down 5. Okay, look what I have written right here. Prediction: Heat will much better second half. Was I right about that or what? I felt it, because if you know this team, man, you knew the Heat were gonna get it together the second half, man. If you know this team, you knew the Heat were going to get it together the second half, and they did. Third quarter goes, and this is when everything changes, man. Strus hit a big 3, and then here we go. The Kevin Love outlets. My man is the best quarterback in basketball. Let's go. Kevin Love, huge outlet to Strus, followed by a 3. Oh yeah. Because Kevin Love, he hit Strus on that crazy outlet, and then Kevin Love hit a 3. And then, what does that do? That sparks a 15-3 run. Huge. Then boom, another outlet from Love to Jimmy. And then I have Heat have settled in. And that's when you really are. That's when I was at a point in the game where I was like, okay, we can relax. The Heat are doing their thing. Like, we're good. Now, then it really turned into a basketball game. From like that point on, once you got into the third quarter, probably up until about the 5-ish minute mark of the fourth quarter, it was just like a solid Eastern Conference Knicks Heat great kind of 90s style basketball game. And then I have Heat will win if they set the tone and play Heat basketball. Man, I feel like if the Heat come out the gate, set the tone, and play Heat basketball, that tough, disruptive, savage, like but fundamental, high IQ, but just tough, hard-nosed basketball, who's gonna beat them? I mean, in the East, the West, that's a whole other animal to worry about. But like, we already beat the biggest foe in the NBA, the Bucks. So once you beat they set the standards so high now, because like you beat the Bucks, Knicks, they're gonna be annoying. Sure, they're gonna be annoying. It's not gonna, that's why I think it's gonna be Heat in 6, maybe Heat in 5. We'll talk about the Jimmy Butler injury soon. But you beat the Bucks, then Knicks, forget about it. Sixers, forget about it. Celtics, forget about it. I'm gonna do like a little bit of a John Morant quote here.
I'm fine in the West.
We're fine in the East. We're fine in the East. I hope, man. I hope I don't sound like an idiot in a couple weeks. But well, really though, I mean, if you beat the Bucks, then you should be fine in the East, logically. Ooh, man, I should be watching this game right now, man. I'm over here making this video for you guys. Oh man, the Celtics are up 113-10 with a minute left, and wow, James Harden, 42 points. Damn. Wow. Joel Embiid is not even playing. Heat will win if they set the tone and play Heat basketball. And then I wrote, Knicks fans look uncomfortable. That's funny. Really looking like a 90s Heat Knicks game, man. Kyle and Gabe playing great. Like, I'm going to do a whole Kyle Lowry video, man, because we need to appreciate this guy. This is a guy who's 37 years old. He's 6 feet tall. He played 30 minutes, 18 points, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, 1 steal, 4 blocks. Awesome. 41% from the field. 50% from 3. Man. Everybody was hating on this guy, man. Including me. Like, there are some frustrating moments with Kyle, for a while. But I was not one of these people who was saying to trade him, because I knew this guy had a championship pedigree, man. Yeah, so the third quarter was great. We won the third quarter 31-20. Now, fourth quarter. Man, I wish I could find this highlight so bad. There was that one play where Jimmy gets into the paint, right? He shot fakes Isaiah Hartenstein. Isaiah Hartenstein, how big is that guy? 7 feet tall, 250 pounds, right? Jimmy gets him into the air. Isaiah Hartenstein goes into the air. Jimmy just like throws his body into him when he's in the air. Isaiah Hartenstein comes like crashing down on him. This 250-pound dude like, if that was me or a normal person, that's like a piano falling out of the sky on top of your head, right? Jimmy like throws his body into him and hits Isaiah Hartenstein. Isaiah Hartenstein just like drops like a sack of potatoes. That's how strong Jimmy is. Like, that dude is like made of iron, man. I swear. This was an interesting thing. The Knicks, with 5:37 left in the fourth quarter, were over the foul limit. I thought that was pretty interesting. That's when I was like, ooh, okay, things are looking good. Things are looking good for us. And then Jimmy turned his ankle. And there's this part where the camera cuts to Spo, and Spo's just sitting there, and he's staring off, and he just drops the F-bomb. Man, I was like, yep, that's kind of what we're all feeling right now. But like the absolute beast that Jimmy is, he stays in the game. He stays in the game. And what was so interesting is that the Knicks didn't seem to take advantage of it. Jimmy got hurt, and then they stayed in the game, and they were like, they didn't know what to. They were like, yeah, what do we do? It was so strange. And then this is when things got just beautiful. So I have prediction at 4:14. Heat are winning this game. Remember what happened at 4:14 left in the fourth quarter? Gabe Vincent hit that kind of ridiculous three-pointer where it looked like he got hit and he was kind of off balance and he hit it. He hit that, and I was like, forget about it. We're winning. That put us up 100-94. Kyle has that awesome kind of like weird block/jump ball on Jalen Brunson, which was beautiful. Then we won the jump ball. I think we missed a shot. Then the Heat come back down, and that's when Caleb Martin had that crazy block where, man, you heard that. It was like flop. You could hear him hit the ball in the broadcast. That's how loud that block was. Then we came down and Bam scored. And then that put us up 8 with 3:17 left. And then, man, we were just cruising. Yeah, this was interesting. Heat went on a 7-0 run after Jimmy got hurt. And that's a testament, man, to all the guys on the Heat. But like, man, Bam locked it down on deep. I don't care about Bam's numbers, man. Like that guy, there was some crazy statistic on Twitter about his box outs, like how good he is at boxing out. Like Bam, his value doesn't always lie with the stat line. Like that guy brings so much defensively, man. Like he's a guy you want in the trenches, man. We close with Bam, Gabe, Kyle, Caleb, and Jimmy. Man, I love that Jimmy stayed out there and didn't even do anything, because Jimmy's like, he just brings such a presence out there. Like other teams are so scared of him at this point, especially after that Bucks series, that just having him out there, even if he's, literally hobbling around, just having him out there just is such a morale booster. It's like being in a war, in battle, and like your general gets like shot in the leg, and instead of him being like kind of carted off by the medics, he just like stays there on the battlefield and he keeps fighting with you. And then all the other guys just like, yeah, like, and it's like gives you this feeling of invincibility, man. Right? The Heat go beyond numbers and stats and ratings, et cetera, et cetera. It's a mentality, and that's, I don't care. Like the Heat, they're the slowest team in the league. They're the lowest scoring team in the league. They're the worst shooting team in the league. Yeah, all that's flipped around now, right? All that's flipped around because like this team is an anomaly. This team, they like stats and ratings and numbers doesn't really apply to them, because when you have guys like Pat Riley and Zoe and Spoelstra and Jimmy, they bring such like a mindset and a mentality and a culture that when it comes playoff time, when it comes to that nitty gritty, all that stuff doesn't matter, man. Like basketball is more than just numbers. The numbers and stats, all that stuff's important. I'm not writing that stuff off, but there's certain things that you cannot quantify. The character of a team, and this team has a ton of character, and they have a ton of experience, whereas the Knicks don't have a ton of experience. Not really. Jalen Brunson, he had his experience last year with Luka. As far as the rest of that team, I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong, but who are the experienced people on that team? Whereas us, Kevin Love, Kyle Lowry, we're talking about championship pedigree dudes. We're talking about guys that have been in the playoffs plenty of times. Jimmy's been in the playoffs tons of times. Spoelstra, tons of playoff experience. Even the guys on the Heat with the least amount of playoff experience still had last season. All those guys are back. All those guys on the Heat played all the way up until one shot away from the finals last season. Plus, you gotta remember the regular season, man. This team has so much character. They've been through so much. all of my fellow Heat fans out there, that you guys know that how many close clutch games has this team played? I think they're leading the league in it, or they're close to it, or whatever, man. But like there was a time in the season where it's like, is every game going down to the wire? And with that though, it prepares you for this stage. Being in the play-in while all these other teams were relaxing and chilling, like, man, they went right from the regular season to losing to the Hawks to beating the Bulls, right into the Bucks, and then from the Bucks right into the Knicks with like, you know what, a day, 2 days off at most. I mean, they've barely had any days off, and that's where the whole what's that iron, the whole iron sharpens iron thing. I really believe in that, man. He ended up winning the second, third, and fourth quarter. I thought that was really good. There's another funny part. Like, did any of you guys catch when after Jimmy was hurt and he was in the corner when they were on offense and he was practicing his jump shot, man? That guy, I swear he's the funniest dude in the NBA.